One possibility is that human nature itself has changed and that our species no longer harbors violent impulses. I consider that to be rather unlikely. Among other things, we still see violence in our children. A large percentage of 2-year-olds hit, bite, and kick, and play fighting among boys is one of the most robust human universals. We continue to enjoy vicarious violence. Murder mysteries, Greek tragedies, Shakespearean dramas, video games, hockey, and movies starring a certain ex-governor of California. Then there are homicidal fantasies. Social psychologists have posed the following question to their subjects. Have you ever fantasized about killing someone you don't like? Well, the data are that about 15% of women and a third of men frequently think about killing people they don't like. And more than 16% of women and 3/4 of men, at least occasionally, think about killing people they don't like. What does this say about human nature? It says that 25% of men are liars. A more likely possibility is that human nature is extraordinarily complex and has always comprised both inclinations toward violence and inclinations that counteract them, what Abraham Lincoln called the better angels of our nature, and that historical circumstances have increasingly favored our peaceable inclinations. What are the motives for violence that hatch in the human brain? There's exploitation, the harming of a person that happens to be an obstacle on the path to something that you want, resulting in rape, plunder, conquest, the elimination of rivals. There's dominance, the urge among individuals to climb the pecking order and become alpha male, and the similar competition among groups for racial, national, or religious supremacy. There's revenge or moralistic violence, the idea that not only is violence permissible to punish someone who has sinned or committed some infraction, but it's mandatory, leading to vendettas, rough justice, and cruel punishments. And then there are utopian ideologies, such as militant religions, nationalism, fascism, Nazism, communism, that justify violence by a pernicious cost-benefit analysis. If your grand scheme for the future holds out the prospect of a utopia, a world that will be infinitely good forever, well, you can commit as much violence as you want to bring that kingdom of heaven to earth, and the benefits always outweigh the costs. Also, imagine you've announced your scheme for a perfect world, and there's some people out there who get in your way or just don't buy it. They're the only thing standing in the way of a world that will be infinitely good forever. Well, how evil are they? How mandatory is it to eliminate them? Well, you do the math. As they used to say in the days of revolutionary Marxism, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, neglecting the fact that human beings are not eggs. Well, what do we have to counteract these violent impulses? What are the better angels of our nature? There's self-control, circuitry in the frontal lobes of the brain that can anticipate the consequences of behavior and inhibit violent impulses. There's empathy, the ability to feel others' pain. There's the moral sense, a set of norms and taboos that regulate behavior. And then there's reason, cognitive processes that allow us to engage in objective, detached analysis. The key question now is, how do we bring the psychology back together with the history and identify the historical developments that bring out our better angels and stay our hands before they can commit acts of bloodshed? One possibility is that Hobbes got it right when he called for a leviathan, a state with a monopoly on the legitimate use of violence. A state can reduce violence by neutralizing the incentive for exploitative attack by punishing aggressors and therefore canceling out their anticipated gain. That can begin to calm everyone down, because not only are you deterred from attacking your neighbors, but you know that your neighbors are deterred from attacking you. That reduces the temptation toward a preemptive attack, to do it to them before they do it to you. It eliminates the need for a belligerent stance of deterrence, credible retaliation, and it eliminates the need to actually avenge harm after it occurs. The reason that that can reduce violence is that it circumvents the self-serving biases that social psychologists have shown that we're all prone to. In any dispute, both sides are convinced that their adversary's harm is naked aggression coming out of the blue. Their own harm is justified retaliation after the fact. If you have two sides that both are under the spell of these self-serving delusions, then you can have endless cycles of revenge and blood violence. The second historical development might be the mechanism of gentle commerce, the idea that whereas plunder is a zero-sum game, the victor's gain is the victim's loss, trade is a positive-sum game, where everybody wins. And as improving technology allows the trade of goods and ideas over longer distances, among larger groups of people, and at lower cost, it becomes cheaper to buy things than to steal them, and other people become more valuable to you alive than dead. The third possibility is the theory of the expanding circle, that humans are equipped